home city. And it's 2 laps to go to the third and final king of the sprints tonight. And with Mike Doyle out for the count and watching this race from the pits now, then he's going to have to sweat it out and watch riders take valuable points off his overall lead. And the hands there of Adrian Timmis from our motorbike camera that is keeping up with the riders. And still Timmis finding the strength to sprint away from New Street here. And I think again we can go down to Tony Francis back in the pits.
Well, yet another victim of this race. There seem to be more riders in the pits than on the road is Paul Sherwin. Paul, what is your problem?
I'm not fit enough. The last few races have been a bit slow because of conditions, but tonight, because it's very dry, it's very, very fast, and having had 3.5 weeks off competition during the Tour de France and then a bit of an illness when I came back, I just...
Is there a bug going round or something? Everybody seems to have a virus of some sort.
I think if anyone has got a virus, it's the kind of virus that gives you sore legs up that hill.
All right, well, I hope you get better soon. Thank you, Paul.
You're right to London.
And so we're back now with the race 1 lap to the sprint finish. No doubt about who's going to score first and second. It's only a question of which order. Alan Piper quite willing to do a lot of work here. He worked hard at Cardiff, if you remember, last Monday. And at the end of the day, it was Malcolm Elliott who caught him and beat him in the sprint. And Alan Piper isn't a man to forget too easily. This time Piper has one of Elliott AMC Holford's teammates with him, Adrian Timmis. And Timmis too can be a useful finisher, because Alan Piper isn't the greatest sprinter in the world, so this could be a very interesting sprint finish if, of course, that's the way it happens tonight. Well, they'll come along this time to take 5 and 4 points. Piper grits his teeth. The lean, hungry man from Australia who's now living in Belgium, and it looks to me as though Timmis isn't even going to contest this sprint. Piper gets the 5 points, Timmis gets 4, and I'm quite sure that won't be the case when they come through to the finish very, very shortly. And look at this gap as we look now, way back down towards Temple Road. No sign of the race at all. There they are. That's an enormous gap. And we now must be considering the possibility of these two riders going up and lapping the field. And this is the sprint. This is Glenn Mitchell and Chris Wharton on the right of the picture there takes 3rd place. So Wharton scores as well. And those 3 riders scoring points will help Mike Doyle to breathe a sigh of relief tonight, because they're not so high up the overall classification. And I think when the computer works out the overall standings at the end this evening, Mike Doyle should still be in that leader's green jersey. So we can have a look now at confirmation of the full result there. Piper and Timmis, because they were well clear. Then came Chris Wharton. Steve Jockey nipped in for 4th, and Glenn Mitchell took 5th place. And that is a very good result for Mike Doyle, because his main rivals failed to score. But now we're concentrating on the last few laps of the race, and 1st and 2nd on the road. 9.5 laps to go at the moment. And these are the 2 leaders. And once again, the City Corporation here in Birmingham having done a marvellous job to close down the city centre. Have a job crossing New Street on a normal working day, but it's empty now. And just for the benefit of 2 riders receiving all the accolades of the crowd here, local man Adrian Timmis leading the Continental Panasonic rider Alan Piper. Well, Piper has won the Tour of Sweden in days gone by. He's also ridden the Tour de France. He is an extremely good man on his own against the clock. He'll be well aware too of the capabilities of Adrian Timmis. And even if he is only a first-year professional, he will treat him with a great deal of respect, I'm sure. And there is Piper. He didn't make the Tour de France team this year, despite moving to the same team as Robert Miller. And he hasn't gone to Colorado Springs, where all the World Championships are taking place. We're into the 2nd week there of the championships. And look at this gap now. We're looking way, way back. This is the biggest gap we've had, and we've been trying to get a breakaway like this since Manchester 3 weeks ago. We've been to Manchester, Dublin, Cork, Glasgow and Cardiff, and we've never had a gap like this by two men. So John Herity is on the front, an early leader. The leader, in fact, when we arrived at Cardiff last week and he lost the title to Malcolm Elliott. Piper and Timmis are still clear and the bunch carry on chasing.
Well, as I'm sure you know, this city is bidding to stage the 1992 Olympic Games along with the likes of Barcelona, Brisbane, Paris and Amsterdam. With me, the man organising the Birmingham bid, Richard Kellogg. Have you got a hope in hell?
Well, I'm one of a team, in fact, Tony, but yes, of course we have. Birmingham's not entered this for fun. It's a competition, and we believe we've got the best technical bid that there is going, and it's been our campaign for the last 12 months to try and bring the games to Birmingham.
Some cynics are saying that the decision has already been made, that it's going to Barcelona. Do you accept that?
There's more rumours circulating at the moment about where the games are going to be in various facets of the candidature, that if you were to believe them all, then you wouldn't continue. No.
Do you have a sneaking suspicion, though, that somebody's decided already?
No. The beauty of the Olympic Games is that the individual members of the IOC have their own individual vote. There's no way that anybody can possibly know which way they're going to vote before the bid. That's why we're lobbying so hard.
All right, October the 17th decision day. We wish you the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And meanwhile, these two riders are holding off in what is turning out to be the break of these championships. Piper on the front and always willing to ride hard. McLaughlin is at the back, and earlier we saw him chasing, and I'm wondering now what he's doing, because he's the teammate of Adrian Timmis, and Timmis should be taking encouragement here from the fact that his team will be blocking and trying to slow down. Well, that big bunch of riders has thinned out considerably. That was the bunch round, and these are the leaders chasing. So the possibility of them lapping the field is now becoming a reality. Well, the Australian riders always come to these events, and they always rise to the occasion. Remember Danny Clark in Glasgow. Shane Sutton of the Falcon Cycles team was the winner of the whole series a year ago. He's back up there in second place at the moment, 8 points behind Malcolm Elliott on the overall classification. But he's back in this main pack. And McLaughlin on the front there, keeping the pace high. The clock has gone on there to check the gap. And it's not the gap now of the riders in front of that bunch, but the two riders, in fact, behind the bunch to see how close they are coming to catching them. And here they come, down towards the finishing line for yet another lap to be completed. Timmis comes through. Piper taking his turn to have a breather at the back there. 25.71 seconds the gap. And that, in real terms, I suppose, is no more than 450 metres. And so, they're coming up to 5 laps to go, these two riders. That means that if anybody now has a problem, then they're going to have to get back on the bikes and chase or retire from the event. And if we are treated to the situation where these two men do catch the main field, then the main field will be given a signal of only 1 lap to race, and the two leaders will be left alone on the track to fight out the finish. Well, that's a rule that we've had on the books for some time, and we've never had to use it before. So I hope the judges like me will get it right. And the pack goes through. It's 4 laps to go. These are the two leaders chasing. The gap to me looks still to be about the same, 26 seconds. Now what's in the mind of Alan Piper, and indeed in Adrian Timmis. Timmis tightening his toe straps there, quite clearly thinking of the sprint finish now, confident that they are no longer in danger of being caught by the rest of the field.